Jim Littles, Academic Director for Purpose Institute. In this video, I would like to explain the purpose of and the process of completing the supervisor evaluation. Students will be taking this to the supervisor, giving this to them before they begin doing their experience, their placement experience. The purpose of this evaluation form is for the supervisor to give feedback to the student. Our field placement program at Purpose Institute is not just getting students to do something. We want them to be actively engaged in the church and in the world, but we want them to learn from that engagement as well. And as such, it's vital to get feedback from the supervisor. So once the student completes the placement, the supervisor will fill out the form. My recommendation is to do it fairly shortly after the service before you forget some of the details that might be necessary. Student will fill at the top of the page for the field of the supervisor and then give the form to the supervisor. The first box that you see on the page is a Likert scale questionnaire. A Likert scale, pretty common. I'm sure you've seen these surveys all over the place. Number 1, going from the student being weak in that area, to number 5, superior in that area, and we've left the 3 in there, the average. So honestly, fill in the student's performance on each of these categories. Is their appearance appropriate? I can remember going to my first day of student teaching in kindergarten, actually it was first grade, showing up with a 3-piece suit. Remember, this is 1981, so it's a while ago, but my supervisor teacher kind of chuckled and laughed, knowing that they would have to work on me a little bit. He felt like it was inappropriate to be dressed in a 3-piece suit in kindergarten, so I had to adjust my attire for kindergarten teaching. So are they appropriately attired, punctual? Are they prepared? Whatever background work they needed to do? Were the interpersonal skills in place? Open communication with you as supervisor? Was everything completed on time, made progress towards the objective, developed teamwork, and open to receiving guidance during the field experience? If this was a solo project, so for instance, the teamwork piece, it might not be appropriate there to fill in one of the 1 to 5, so just write not applicable in the line. So you'll complete the Likert scale. Simply circle those and move down to the next. If you have the need, how likely are you to have that student come back and fill another placement with you? From unlikely, this wasn't a good fit, I probably wouldn't have them come back again, to without a doubt sign them up right now if they would do so. And then begin number 1, this is more qualitative response. Describe the strengths of the student's skills demonstrated during the placement. Small box there, no need for writing a huge essay, so this could just be bullet items. Identify a couple of strengths that you saw in the student's work. Number 2, describe ways a student could improve his or her skills as related to the placement. What are some things they should look at next, should study next, should think about next? It could be any of the 3 areas of learning. What are some cognitive things that they need to do, that they need to learn about? So for instance, if this is a placement with autistic children, maybe that student needs to go read a little more, visit some websites on the characteristics and care for autistic children and their families. That might be something that they would need to go and read some more. It might be an affective area. They're a little wound a little too tight, or they're anxious, or they need to address those areas, or they don't take initiative. It might be a volitional initiative-taking thing that's more affective. And it might be behavioral, some things that they need to do. What's an area that they could develop related to the placement? Number 3, Any additional information would help the student in his or her service. Remember, the student has come to you not to be a finished product, but they want to be a lifelong learner. They want to continue to grow and mature. Some of them will continue to grow and develop and lead a ministry just like yours, or a service organization just like yours. What skills do they need to develop to mature in that way? And finally, if you have any confidential information concerning the student's placement you would like to share, please contact the Field Experience Director with the information above. If it's something confidential you need to share, you don't feel comfortable writing it down, contact them. Now, the process that you will do, as you can see with the signature blank, supervisor will sign that you've discussed the observation with the student during their field experience. So after you complete this form on your own, supervisor, you'll meet with the student and share points of learning. You'll hear their reflections. This is how they think they did. This is their points of learning. And then you'll share your reflections so that the student can learn not just the joy of serving, but also how can they continue to grow and mature. Thank you again for serving as a Field Experience Supervisor for Purpose Institute. I trust that more students will come and serve in your location in the future, in your program in the future, so that the objectives you have for your program or your service program can be enhanced by Purpose Institute students. Thank you, and Lord bless.